Tonight on Cosmic Cantina, what is happening right now? Seriously though, during this time of staying home during the COVID-19 quarantine, there seems to have been a huge increase in UFO sightings and paranormal activity. We talk about what might be causing it. Could it be a hole in the electromagnetic field around the Earth? With Brazil having more than its fair share of craziness, experiencing a really interesting possible UFO crash. Also, video footage of Dogman in Florida? Hell yes! Then we answer your questions, as best we can, given the amount of booze we just consumed. I'm your host, Melissa Tittle, and every week I go to my favorite bar, Cosmic Cantina, and kick back with my co-hosts, Josh Golombeski and Matt O'Connor. We talk about aliens, Bigfoot, ghosts, ancient cultures, and anything from the unseen world that needs a little illumination. Welcome to Cosmic Cantina. I'm your host, Melissa Tittle, and tonight I'm drinking a margarita. What are you guys drinking?
I'm drinking my favorite gluten-free beer, Riccoli. It's awesome. It's summer. I was on a wine kick there for a while when COVID first hit, but I got over the hump, and now I'm back to beer. It feels good. What are you drinking, Matt?
Oof, yeah, it's summery. It feels great. So I stepped up to the Breckenridge Brewery. I'm having a lager. It's called a Breck Lager. It's good stuff. It's tasty. It's summery. It's golden.
Super pisser.
I'm running out of adjectives, so carry on.
Right on.
All right, we're gonna start the show now because Matt has exalted all of his adjectives. All right. Okay, so tonight we have something a little bit different. We really wanted to hear from you, our fans. So we asked you, do you have any questions? And we are going to answer all of your questions at the end of the show. But first, we really wanted to talk about something unique this podcast, and one of our listeners came up with an amazing idea. Josh?
Yeah, so listener Lizette reached out to us on Facebook after the paranormal episode we did where we interviewed Kadrick. And she had been dealing with something crazy. Let me break down what she said quick and why it led into this episode, what we're doing in general. She said she got home from a Jewish cemetery job site. So that's interesting already. I'm not sure what that means. And when she came home, her non-believing boyfriend would say, "What's that scratching on the walls? And what's that loud boom?" They started experiencing like classic paranormal activity. She tried saging. She started speaking to a medium. She burned incense, which all helped. But she was kind of thinking with all this COVID-19 craziness going on that things were getting stirred up again. And she just enjoyed that Kadrick said, if you laugh, things will get better, which they seem to do. But then we had a quick conversation. I was like, well, what do you think? Do you think like COVID or everyone being home is sparking some sort of more paranormal activity? Is something happening? And we weren't quite sure, but it just kind of led into the discussion of like, it seems like a couple things are true out there. One, there is a massive increase in UFO activity. I don't know if that's just because people are home and looking up at the sky more, I guess. And there's also been a massive increase in paranormal activity, and there's multiple articles and multiple places you can find with lots of stories and lots of data that confirm this. So that story kind of sparked the passion for this podcast.
Sweet. So, as usual, I start out with articles. Do, do, do.
Is that your theme song? Great theme song.
Attention, an article. Okay. All right. So you know what? I had to look into this because I thought that's so weird. I wonder if that's happening. I mean, there's definitely a lot of people reporting weird paranormal stuff, but maybe it's just because they're noticing it for the first time. But then I started looking into what is happening on the Earth and to the Earth. So if you haven't heard of a thing called Schumann Resonance, I'm just going to explain to you what it is. Surrounded by the atmosphere, the Earth can be treated as a medium that generates electromagnetic waves of different frequencies. Waves come from various man-made devices, as well as from natural resources such as lightning, cosmic storms, etc. All of these waves spread out in different directions, and they affect the electrical properties of the Earth. So back in 1950, there is a guy named, a German physicist named Otto Schumann, and he mathematically shown that the surface of the Earth and the lower layers of the ionosphere create a chamber that resonates in the area of the very low frequencies. ELF, extremely low frequencies.
Yeah, so I've heard that before.
So for the most part, the Earth resonates at like 7.8, which is approximately how each of our human bodies resonates. That's the hertz, 7.8, usually. So I found this article that said that do Schumann resonance impact our perception and our health? So according to this article, which we will post on our website, so if you want to check it out, you can read more about it. The Earth's frequency has been increasing since 1980. And right now, it's at 30 hertz. It's at this extreme level. Okay, so let's just put this in perspective. We're at 7.8, and the Earth is starting to resonate at 30. So that is affecting how we are communicating with the Earth, how we are connected to the Earth, how our hearts are beating with the frequency of the Earth, how our brains are affected by the frequency of the Earth. This is just a crazy hypothesis, but this might be affecting some of the chaos on the planet, right? We are not in tune with where the Earth is going. We are still at our 7.8, and it's not working.
It's leaving us behind.
It's leaving us behind.
Yeah.
And so what also affects the Schumann resonance is any social disturbance. So as I was stating before, there's natural occurrences, but there's also man-made occurrences. So there's devices, but then there's also people. So the more noise and stuff people are making, you're affecting the Earth. But strangely enough, we're still at 7.8, but the Earth's frequency is getting higher. So during the pandemic, and I'm sure most of you, if you're into this kind of stuff, you came across a Time magazine article that went through all of the different things that had changed on the Earth during the COVID situation. And that has to do with the mammals in the ocean are not producing so much stress hormones. There's less pollution in the air. There's less noise being recorded inside the Earth because people are not moving, right?
Yeah.
So it's strange to me that we are still at 7.8 and the Earth's frequency is getting higher and things are quiet. Which leads me to think, what else is happening, right? But then, Matt, you discovered that actually there's a hole in our electromagnetic structure on the Earth, correct? There's a hole above South America?
Yeah, so there's this huge area, and it's stretching from from the bottom tip of Africa to all the way through South America. And if you look at a map, you'll see this crazy blue section, which I guess is the huge gap in the electromagnetic field around the Earth, and it's just situated right over South America, which is really interesting since, I'm not sure what's causing it, and I don't know if anyone really knows what's causing it as of this article that I was reading about it, which again we'll post. But it's interesting because I think if you look into a lot of the UFO activity on Reddit and, all sorts of forums and social media and stuff, like we do, it's a kind of a daily thing for us, I guess. But I think most people notice there's just been this huge explosion of definitely UFOs, but also paranormal stuff in general, mainly situated around South American countries. A lot of videos have popped up online, and one in particular I guess we're going to get to in a little bit, in Brazil, which was really crazy.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just interesting that this it's it reminds me of the ozone layer. It's not the ozone layer, it's the electromagnetic field around the Earth, but it's just interesting that it's just opened up, and I don't know what that means for, I don't know, does it allow the veil to be thin between worlds, or is it does it allow us to see these things that were usually invisible to the naked eye? I don't know.
Well, it's causing a lot of technical disturbances, I believe, with satellites orbiting the Earth, because once it passes over this hole, they're not working correctly. So it's very strange. Whatever this hole is, it's causing a massive amount of disturbance within our own man-made materials that we have on the planet and what's orbiting the Earth. So you have to wonder, what could it be letting in or keeping out, if you will, at this hole?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's super interesting. So COVID is a time of experimentation, I guess, right? But Another thing, so I know I talk about this guy a lot on this podcast, and I apologize, but his information is so unique. That's why I keep bringing him up. We have a show called Initiation on Gaia with a guy named Matthias DiStefano, and he had mentioned this to me like a month ago. So before any of these articles had posted, he had said to me that, the reason why COVID had to happen is because there's an alien group trying to fix the magnetic field because there's a hole, and they have to do this, otherwise humans their brains are disturbed by this frequency that's not normal.
Oh, and interesting. So he picked this before, like long before this article came out.
Yeah, long before this article came out, and I was like, okay, that's interesting. I mean, I can't say where did you read that? I mean, he got it from his guides, but
Right.
but then when I started researching this, I thought to myself, oh my God, this is before any of those articles came out, and we had this huge disturbance going on with our own with the Schumann Resonance that's happening on the Earth, and then we have this huge hole like right over South America. So what is going on?
I don't know, but what is happening in South America?
Josh?
First of all, I'll wildly speculate. Maybe we're waking up. Maybe we're ascending. Who knows what it is? But all I know is that spot on that map that you sent to me, Matt, with the hole and whatever's going on with the energy that I don't quite understand, is directly over a part of Brazil where there was I'm going to go on a limb. I'm going to say it is going to be a landmark UFO case in the history books. It's nothing like Roswell. It's not going to be as famous as Roswell. But Brazil is a hotbed for UFO activity, especially recently. And there was a build-up to this event, which I'm going to get to, which is an incredible story that encompasses every aspect you want of a mass UFO event, from the event itself to the cover-up to chasing aliens to crash discs to misinformation and disinformation, the whole 9 yards. It is a magical journey of discovery. So let me break it down. First of all, I want to thank all the UFO nerds out there who go out of their way to capture all this information and lay it out for you. There is so much information and so much bullshit to get through, and
UFO
there's people
nerds,
out there
UFO
on the ground
nerds,
making it happen.
UFO
They're my
nerds,
people.
woo woo woo,
Yeah. So
UFO, UFO. Okay.
This event
UAP, UAP. Okay,
yeah,
sorry,
UAP.
Josh.
You gotta get it right now. It's UAP.
Yeah. All right.
May 12th, 2020, in a place spelled M-A-G-E, which is Magé, I believe. Magé.
Oh, Magé.
Which is Portuguese, Magé. It's
Mage.
northeast of
Magé.
Rio.
Wait.
Magé, yeah, Magé.
Wait, what was it, Matt? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Is Magé.
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 Yeah.
Magé. Whatever I said was clearly wrong. Even though I just listened to it 1 second before we started. Like, my mind could not remember anything. Anyways, this is about me. It's about an awesome UFO event.
It's about the frequency of the Earth. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So Magé is northeast of Rio, on that giant cove that Rio sits on, and it's on a body of water. It's about northeast a couple miles, about 200,000 people. Anyways, on this night, there was thousands of witnesses calling into police stations and pouring over social media, all reporting multiple UFOs in the sky. It looks like when the research really came in, it was at least three UFOs getting chased by at least two helicopters, and one of those UFOs crashed. Now, there's multiple videos of these UFOs in the sky, and I'm going to get into it in a minute, but it's really confusing out there. People are putting up these videos together earnestly, showing all these different UFO shots, but then you look through it, and clearly, half of them aren't even from Brazil, and it's confusing. Some are the real ones, some are not. You got to find the real one, and you can't find the other one. Some got taken down, some are still up. There's so many shots of these UFOs, and it's really hard to figure out what the truth is, but I think I figured it out. So
yeah, there was. I remember seeing. I don't even know if it was part of this, but there was videos of these huge booms that were happening. Is that part of it as well? That is part of it. Okay, cool.
The booms. People reported hearing a boom, but the videos I saw, were clearly fake CGI fun. And there was even sound effects. Every time it lit up, there was the perfect it was like a sound effect.
Oh, really?
Before,
Okay.
when I was editing. Yeah, but there was other stuff that was real, and the eyewitness reports talk about a boom. But basically, what happens? One of these three UFOs crashed, and there was a loud noise, and it crashed near this facility called IMBEL. It was a military factory that makes explosives and and bullets, which is interesting. I don't think it's related to why it crashed there, but it just happened to crash near it. So there's so many videos. There's also a video of the actual disc crashed against a mountain that is clearly fake. So there's so much disinformation out there. It looks like someone got really close to the ground and tried to make the pebbles look like big rocks, and then put a tiny little I don't know, metal pan or a thumbnail or something like that on the ground and tried to pull it off like it was the crash disc. Clearly,
that's
it was
interesting.
fake.
I think that in and of itself is interesting that there's that much disinfo going into trying to I don't know, just shit in the punch bowl on this one. It's like